Welcome to another episode of Chew on This with Devra and Ray. I'm Ray.
And I'm Devra. We're so happy that you're with us today. We're going to talk about sleep and the importance of sleep, and then we have some exciting news that we want to share that we just recently found out. But Ray's really proud. He's got a new shirt.
It's important to do this every day.
Yeah. So one of the first steps to help your health is to make sure you're a super pooper.
At least once a day.
Well, once a day is a good start, but if you look at most babies, what goes in comes out.
Yep.
And so you really want to make sure you're pooping 1 to 3 times a day.
Yep.
Keep things flowing.
Absolutely.
The other really important thing about your health is sleep, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But I want to remind you that this show is for informational and educational purposes only, and it's not a substitute for your professional medical advice. So if anything we talk about today intrigued you, please make sure you connect with your medical professional.
And they can connect with you also afterwards.
You can also get in touch with me as well.
Afterwards, yeah. But
Yeah.
consult them.
Yeah. Your doctor,
Yeah.
your dentist, all those things.
Absolutely.
So recently, I wrote a blog about the importance of sleep. It's also the chapter in my book that fleshes that out just a little bit more. But I just wanted to refresh your memory. If you haven't had a chance to read the book or read the blog is available on wakethehealthup.co. So you can pop over there and read that. The blog just started, so I'm really excited about that. I've been wanting to do it for years and finally did it.
I'm not on it, but I'm excited too.
He's excited because he's heard me talk about it for years.
Absolutely.
Right? And he does help me. He helps. You help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you do. So, oh great, my screen just went black. While we're waiting for my screen to come back up, on September, I'll have to look at 2 screens. On September 28th, it's a Saturday, from 2 to 3:30 here in Las Vegas, in Northwest Las Vegas. I'm going to be hosting a workshop called Why Organic Matters at Natural Grocers. So watch my social media for more information about that, or I think it'll be posted on their website as well, naturalgrocers.org, I think, .com.
It's a really neat store to be in.
Yeah. What I love about it is you walk in and you don't have to pick and choose which fruits and vegetables. All the fruits and vegetables are organic and they have high quality ingredients.
It's not just one little corner like a lot of supermarkets.
Yeah.
And you got to find them and all that.
Yeah. So, sleep. I'd be curious to know, we have to check Facebook when we get done because we don't have our Facebook with us. But I'd really love you to drop in the comments how you sleep. How do you sleep?
I think I sleep pretty well, but then I'm asleep. I don't know. It seems like I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I wake up 2 or 3 times to turn over.
So, depending on why he's waking up, that really could be an issue.
Could be.
So for years, I said I didn't have an issue. And then when I traveled with people, or my family, or Ray, they say, we think you have an issue. Because I would stop sleeping.
Stop breathing.
Stop breathing, sorry. I would stop sleeping too because I'd wake up. But I would stop breathing, but I didn't know that I was not breathing. And so it was very curious because I wrote the chapter on sleep in the book, and I put a little paragraph in there about if you well, let's talk about some of the experiences. Do you experience extreme daytime sleepiness? Would be one thing. And then maybe your family could help you with this one. Are you moody, cranky, irritable, hard to get along with?
I'm not going there.
Are you fatigued? You wake up and you're ready for a nap already. Do you have difficulty connecting the dots sometimes, right? You just learned something and you have to go back and reread it because you can't comprehend. Are you forgetful? You know, some of it could be, we make a joke about it, but you walk into a room and you forget why you're there. I mean, all these things, there could be lots of reasons why you have some of these symptoms, but if you start thinking about them all together, they could point to some sleep disruption. The foggy brain. Also weight gain. So if you have unexplained weight gain, or you just can't lose that last bit of weight, you've been successful and all of a sudden you hit a brick wall, one of the reasons could be you're not sleeping properly. Another one is if you have increased cravings for sugar or refined carbohydrates.
How about I can't function without my coffee?
Yeah, I don't know anybody like that.
Where's my coffee?
All my 100 coffee friends. No, it's true. If you wake up, it'll take your body about 20 to 30 minutes to wake up naturally, right? That's a normal given. But if you find yourself and you can't function without that coffee, you might want to examine where it's coming from.
I'll bet you there's a lot of Americans out there, a lot of people around the world that have coffee in the morning. Not that they have to have it, but it's just a nice drink to have in the morning.
Yeah, I enjoy a cup of coffee, but there's and there's more about that in the book as well. There's things to consider, right? There's pros and cons for you to think about, the benefits and the risks for anything. But when you drink coffee, there are benefits and risks. So understand those. Well, why sleep is so important is you think you're just laying there doing nothing. That's what I used to think. Sleep was a waste of time because I had stuff to do. I was busy. But tissue repair, muscle growth, protein synthesis, your hormones that regulate appetite control, stress, growth, metabolism, and all those bodily functions, all those hormones are released while you sleep. And new information is assimilated, and that's when the storage occurs. So if you're not getting good quality deep sleep, no wonder you can't remember why you walk in a room, right? So yes, there could be other reasons, but start considering, or maybe you might want to consider, could it be that your sleep is disrupted? So when your body is deprived of all that sleep, and the body can't do what it's supposed to do while you're asleep, here are just a few of the risks. Now, one night might make you tired, but it may not cause all these, right? So we're talking about chronic sleep disruption. It can lead to your immune system being compromised, obesity, diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, depression, hypertension. Who wants that, right?
I don't.
So the whole point is, how do we look at our lifestyle and our behavior to determine what are we experiencing what are we experiencing? And instead of just saying, oh, it's just because, let's find out why we're experiencing those, right? Just get down to the root cause of what's causing the sleep disruption. So for me, I was doing I looked at all that and implemented some of the things to get good sleep. What would those be?
Waking up refreshed.
I know, but what kind of things do we suggest for them to do to wake up refreshed? To get good quality sleep.
You mean beforehand, possibly turning off the TV a little early, dimming down the lights where you don't have a lot of bright lights at you. Maybe turning off the TV even, and getting prepared to go to sleep.
The hardest one for me was move that device out of the bedroom, or at least 5 feet away, turn it off.
So how many hours of sleep should I get?
Well, I think it's just like everything else. It depends on your body, but most adults will need 7 to 9 hours of sleep.
Okay. And of course, babies need a lot more.
Babies need more. And mamas and daddies, make sure your babies get some sleep. I mean, just like your body is growing and doing all that tissue and repair and growth, that's the same with babies and children, right? So sleep is vital for everybody, but remember that for your babies too. So you mentioned turning off the TV early, lower your lights.
Yeah.
Reading before you go to bed really helps.
Yeah.
Then you can, if you're getting the good sleep, then you remember what you read.
As long as it's not a real exciting book you can't put down, and then all of a sudden it's like,
right. Maybe not exercise right before bed, right? So exercise 3 hours before you go to bed, eat 3 or more hours before you go to bed, because you want to be in rest state. So if your body's busy digesting, it's hard to be in rest. and repair state.
And sometimes eating too late or eating sugary foods, because the sugar revs up your metabolism, or sweetened foods, whether it be sugar or other.
That really affects you.
It affects me a whole lot. Man, if
I find him
have
doing sit-ups. I say don't exercise, but if he doesn't do sit-ups, he doesn't sleep.
yeah, I'm up till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning unless I've done my 50 sit-ups because I had just a small amount of sugar or sweetener of any type.
Yeah. So there's many reasons to avoid sugar, but and we can talk about that at another time. But it will disrupt your sleep. What are some other sleep in a darkened room? Get rid of those night lights. It's going to disrupt your ability to be in a deep REM sleep.
Maybe have a nice mellow sound, white noise, possibly,
or some kind of music. So there's tons of ideas. I gave you some in the blog. There's some in the book. There's tons of resources out there to get good quality sleep. But if you don't get good quality sleep, you're putting your body at risk. I used to say I can sleep when I'm dead. That was really short-sighted and not very smart.
So you should be dreaming too.
Yeah.
Good, nice REM sleep, dreaming and all that. If you're not dreaming, the possibility, and you think you are because your mind's going.
Or not dreaming and not remembering your dreams.
Right. It's not good.
Yeah. So stick to a consistent wake-asleep cycle. Avoid that caffeine later in the day because that could disrupt your sleep. And also avoid alcohol. Have you ever heard a glass of wine right before you go to bed will help you sleep? Well, it might help you get to sleep, but it's going to disrupt your sleep a couple hours in.
And then in the alcohol is also sugar.
Right.
So for me, drinking alcohol right before going to bed is not a good idea because of the sugar.
Yeah. So I did all those things, right? I knew all the things that change in our lifestyle, did them all, the room was dark, bring your temperature down to a cooler temp in the room, and I still wasn't sleeping. And so I went to my doctor and we did a sleep study, and I do have a mild sleep apnea, and I never wanted a CPAP. I just don't like anything over my face. But then it came to the point you have to decide. Do I not want the CPAP, or do I want to sleep and remember and have my hormones not so wacky every day and the cortisol level going everywhere?
You have more energy?
More energy. So I know when I did my study, the second time I went back, and this will be more in my blog as well, but when I went back the second time and I got 5.5 hours of sleep with the CPAP on, that was the best day I had felt in years. Right? I mean,
she kept on saying,
this is what it feels like to get sleep. Because I thought I was sleeping 7 to 8 hours, but I wasn't getting good quality sleep. Uninterrupted sleep. Because one of the signs for me also is if you go to bed and your head hits the pillow and you're gone, which I always thought was a good thing, that's actually could be one of the signs of sleep apnea, because you're so dang tired that you're exhausted. When your head hits the pillow, you're gone. The other one is having to get up to go pee several times a night. I just thought that was a bladder thing, right?
That's what I thought too.
That could actually be one of the signs of sleep apnea, because if your body is in deep REM sleep, your bladder doesn't need to pee.
You're not filtering that much,
Yeah,
and your bladder's not filling
your body is busy repairing.
And not filtering, okay.
Yeah. So take a look at your sleep, and if you're not getting good quality sleep, take care of that now, because it will have long-term ramifications if you ignore it for too long.
Yeah, good advice.
Yeah. So should we talk about the exciting stuff?
Yeah, we should. It's right here.
I wish I had my Facebook so you guys could ask me questions. But ask questions in the comments and we'll reply. And then check out the blog. Yeah. So a couple of months ago, I went out on a limb and I submitted my book for an author awards, thinking, you don't know until you try, right?
Right.
You can't get a yes if you don't try. So I submitted my book, and it made the top 1,000, and so we were invited to share with our friends and have them vote for their favorite book, and this week I was notified that I made the top 10 finalists in the health category. And I think Scott's going to show that, but if not, I mean, I was so excited.
So what is the name of it?
It's the Author Academy Awards, and there's 16 categories, and my book was submitted for the health category. And it's more than just a popularity contest. Popularity will not win anything. But so what happens next is I'm invited to go to Columbus, Ohio, and for the actual Author Academy Awards ceremony. And there's judges, but they judge on cover design. And I don't know about you, but I love this cover. It was by Erin Nawson. She did a fabulous job designing the cover. Content and layout, thanks to Michelle Hausbeck. The flow of the book, and I think I should have wrote them down, but I didn't. Community impact. What else? There was 5, and then popular vote is one of them. And so I'll post that on my social media if y'all want to go vote for my book. If you've read it, I'd love to hear how in what ways it's benefited you.
And if you haven't read it, go get it.
Yeah. It was really fun. We were in a store the other day, and this is my
Your PR man?
my publicist and my best advocate. He really is pretty amazing.
I just turned around with the lady and
don't get your head swollen.
I don't know how it happened, but I said something about her book, and I said, pull out your book, and so she did, and the lady said, oh, I love that book, and so she said, I'm gonna order it right now. And while we were standing there, she ordered it and hit the button and said, it's paid for, it's on its way.
Yeah, and so she was experiencing some health issues, and that's my deepest desire. Is I spent so many years struggling with my health and trying to connect the dots and figure out, well, why did it work for Susie Q and it wasn't working for me? And so, we talk a little bit about how there's experts on both sides of every issue, but even in the health arena, there's all these experts. And how are we supposed to make sense of what is supposed to work? And so the book is maybe what's interfering with our health that we're not aware of, and then those things that most experts agree will benefit anybody's health, like getting proper sleep, getting good quality food, managing your stress, if there's such a thing. But you can learn to cope with stress, because stress is a good thing. Don't want to get too far off topic, but so when I hear those stories of when the book impacts somebody, it really touches me on a deep level, because someone said one time about their book wrote them, and it's kind of a little bit how I feel. Is I didn't really have a choice. I felt like God said, okay, it's time to write this book from your own perspective, because there's a lot of perspectives out there, a lot of books. And so when I get messages that the book has helped people change their habits or look at something a different way they hadn't considered, that's really my goal.
Yeah, and
to help people change their lives.
The book actually reads as if we're talking back and forth. It's a very good read, excellent read.
Except for I don't stutter or forget what I'm saying in the book. That happens so much with us.
So what was the name of this again?
So it's Author Academy Awards, and there's 16 categories, and you can go on and vote for all the categories. So when I go, it's part of a Igniting Souls conference, and so we're invited to come to this portion, the awards portion, but I've decided to stay for the whole conference, because why not go to a conference called Igniting Souls?
And you get to speak there.
Yeah, and I get to present 90 seconds about the book and the power of the book. Oh, I know one of the other categories. Did I say that? Community impact.
You said that already.
I did? Okay. Anyway, it bears repeating.
The fifth one's out there someplace. I have no idea what it was.
I have no idea. So anyway, that's our big news, is that my book made the top 10 in the health category, and I'm so excited, so blessed, and I really do pray that God uses this book for good.
So they can get to that off of your Facebook, or? any other way?
Well, that's a good question.
Is it authoracademy.com?
I think it's authoracademyawards.com or Author Academy. You can probably just Google Author Academy Awards and get there. There's a place to vote for 2019 finalist.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you vote, when you click on a book, you voted. Right? So you can look at the titles, but until you actually vote, even after you vote, you can't go back in and really look. So if some titles look interesting, and some of the titles look interesting to you, and you'd like to follow up, just write them down. Because once you vote, you can't see the titles again. But once you click on it, you voted for that book.
So if you see this one,
yeah. So if you see this one,
click on it.
All right. So anything else you'd like to talk about today?
Having plants in a room too helps.
Yeah. Oxygen. My next blog is going to be actually about my experience with the CPAP and the. How are we doing? Oh yeah? We got 10 whole minutes. 9 minutes.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about for 9 minutes?
Plants. Remember we just talked about that? Remember that foggy thing?
See, I am so excited. I picked up my CPAP today.
Yeah.
And learned how to put it on. I was going to bring it, but I forgot. So tonight I get to sleep with my CPAP, and I'm really excited to see what I feel like tomorrow.
So about bringing things, I put a ZZ plant right by the back door when going into our car.
Because don't you think we just need a plant right there?
Absolutely. But
it's a plant.
They're good to be in your house. There's several different varieties that help cleanse the air. And maybe having a couple of good plants.
Add oxygen into the air.
Right. It's to clean the air and all that. So that's a good environment to have. So anyway, I forgot that. Maybe I'm sleep deprived. Who knows?
Well, and I didn't bring the statistics. It'll be in the articles. But the truth is, there are thousands and thousands of people who are suffering from sleep disruption, and they don't know it.
Oh, boy.
They don't know it. Because we take for granted that it's our age, right? We walk into a room and we forget something.
Does stress...
Or we leave the plant sitting on the counter.
Does stress part of that thing too?
Stress, yes. Stress plays a big role on sleep, and lack of sleep plays a big role on stress. Lack of sleep plays a role in stress and how you manage your stress. And if you have too much stress, it impacts your sleep.
It impacts everything.
I mean, everything.
Including
that you
this.
Think, do, everything, yeah, impacts. And if you're not a super pooper, that's going to impact the stress on your body.
Right.
And you're going to reabsorb all those toxins that are supposed to be
That's all in your book,
out.
isn't it?
Yes. Yes. So anyway, one of the things I was going to tell you that I got distracted. I feel like I'm a little bit ADD today. It's because I can't wait to try the CPAP. When the book Being a Blessing is, I got a text from a friend of mine that a friend of hers was experiencing some health issues, and so she shared her copy of the book with her, and the woman was just all excited and couldn't wait to implement the habits, to incorporate to have better health.
Yeah, she said she couldn't put it down. It was so good.
Yeah.
That's the way it is with a lot of people I've talked about that or talked to, and they said, "Boy, I just can't put this thing down." But don't let it interrupt your sleep. Read a little bit and then go to sleep.
I used to do that. I used to read until 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I thought I was so smart. But someone told me once that I wasn't as bright as I thought I was when I was burning the candle at both ends. So I didn't get it at the time, but they were right. If you're out there and you said that to me, I'm telling you now, you were right.
I've never said that to you, so I don't know.
That I'm right?
Yeah. No, about that.
Oh. Because you tell me that all the time.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if she isn't right, then she's right because she wasn't right? No, I don't know how that goes.
Anyway, I want to thank all of you guys that voted for me in the first round, got me from the top 1,000 to the top 10 in my category, so that's 160 people. And I look forward to whatever comes next. But even to travel to Columbus, I have family in Columbus, Ohio, and so I'm looking forward to seeing my family as well. So let's see, natural grocers.
Yeah, natural grocery. But
On the-
I was just going to say on that, it's nice to, if you're traveling, to stop along some ways from really good restaurants that are as organic as they can be, because it's a challenge to find them. But when you do find them, it's very good.
Yeah, we should do a whole show on eating well across the country, because it is. Because I don't think we've eaten at a fast food restaurant in 5 years. And so they're really easy to find, but like even a good place for salads. And we're so spoiled in Las Vegas. Anyway, I was going to one more time on September 28th from 2 to 3:30. It's the Natural Grocers in Northwest Las Vegas, and I'll be doing a workshop on why organic matters. So,
Do you have a time? No?
were you not listening? He wasn't. See,
You
you
had a
all are
date.
witnesses.
I have a date, but I don't think I heard a time.
2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll be hanging out a couple of weeks before that, just getting to meet the customers and everything. So I'm really excited about this. This is my the first time hanging out and doing a workshop at Natural Grocers. The other thing is the book is going to be re-released with another publisher soon, and so then I'll be able to seek out being in Barnes & Noble, do book signings in Barnes & Noble, and my tongue is starting to twist. I think I need to go get a drink of water. So it's a good thing we're almost out of time.
Yes. So, thank you for watching.
Thank you for all your support. Thank you for watching. We look forward to being with you again next month. Reverend David Dendy is going to be with us.
Oh, yeah.
And his motto is "Laugh often, fear not." And I love that, because laughter is another thing that's vital for your health.
Absolutely.
And why fear, right? Why worry about tomorrow? It hasn't happened yet.
So in all this, sleep well and eat well
And poop well.
and poop well.
We love you all.
Okay, thank you
God
for watching.
bless.
Bye-bye.